Good evening, Southwest New Brunswick. I'm Vicki Hogarth, and here's what's happening in our part of the world. The 7th annual St. Andrew's St. Patrick's Day Parade took place over the weekend. Many local dogs, including CHCO's own canine mascot Maud, accompanied their owners down Water Street to show their support for the event's benefactor, the Charlotte County SPCA. Civil War reenactors from Company I of the 20th Maine Volunteer Infantry Regiment have participated in the parade for the last 3 years, and their musket demonstration is now the official finale to the festivities on Water Street. Fire! Company I members come from across the Maritimes and are fascinating sources of information on Canada's little-known role in the Civil War.
So with Canadians in the Civil War, they could go across as substitutes for Americans. In other words, an American would decide, no, I'm not going to be drafted, because they brought the draft in 1863. And if you were rich enough and you decided, oh, no, I'm not going to go and fight in this war, I'll hire a substitute. So a lot of Canadians, okay, I'll be a substitute.
Company I will return to St. Andrews this summer for a special ceremony honoring the life and service of famed St. Andrews resident Charles Norris, a former slave who fought in the Civil War. He eventually settled in St. Andrews, where he is also buried. The United States Veterans Affairs Office has never officially recognized his gravesite, despite requests.
We've gone and raised the money, and we've bought a new headstone for him, and we're going to be doing a unveiling of that in July, a dedication service with our group and participation from the New Brunswick Black Historical Association and other dignitaries.
New Zealand has often drawn comparisons to Canada for being a quiet, peaceful country. For St. Andrews resident David Welch and his wife Sandra, who is originally from New Zealand, it's their home away from home and often their refuge during the cold Canadian winter. At the end of their recent 2-month trip to visit family, the Welches made their way to Christchurch Airport for their return trip home, only to be shook by world tragedy just down the street.
How they get beyond this, it's hard to say, but I can tell you that New Zealand is a different place the day of it and the day after, and will be for the future because of these types of things. It changes. It'll change the country's psyche for sure, unfortunately. Although it is a beautiful place, it's a beautiful place to visit, and it's certainly not going to stop me from going back.
Friends of the Welches, both in New Zealand and back home in Canada, were notified of their safety thanks to a relatively new emergency check-in notification that uses GPS to locate Facebook users in close proximity to danger and enables them to inform their social media network of their safety.
Facebook knew I was there and asked me if I wanted to post whether I was safe or needed help or assistance or whatever. So it was amazing. It just popped up, and there was already hundreds of people that had posted that they were safe, which I did. I posted that I was safe.
The tragic event might be New Zealand's wound to bear, but it's the world's to share. Many people are calling on Facebook to develop stronger tools to control the spread of hate speech and violence. The Wesley United Church in St. Andrews is entering the final phase of its major renovations project this week, one that is more of a transformation than just a restoration effort. The pews that once lined the interior have been donated to Minister's Island to make room on the church's floor for the installation of a labyrinth. Ottawa-based labyrinth designer Barbara Brown is in town this week spearheading the installation of the Celtic-inspired labyrinth that is quickly coming to life on the church's floor.
We like to say the difference between a labyrinth and a maze is a labyrinth is a single path, and it has no tricks or traps, and it leads you eventually into the center and then back out again. The labyrinth has no doctrine. It doesn't come with a set of beliefs, and so it's an open space. And so I think that's actually what is going on in this community.
Regular church services will take place in the church with movable chairs in place of the pews. The congregation doesn't see the removal of the pews as a loss, but as an opportunity to open its doors to an even larger community, one that transcends religion, language, and culture. At times in the world's history such as this, where the path forward feels blocked by acts of hate, a labyrinth couldn't be a more fitting symbol of unity and the power of the human spirit. That's all the news I have for you. For more stories, follow us on Facebook at CHCO.TV.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.